As far as JJ McCarthy goes, he went on the Rich Eisen show and he said this quote, which a lot of people are putting in headlines this morning, and it's stupid. I'm actually totally not into it at all. All I could ask for is a fair opportunity. That's the one thing I feel like everybody's given, and it's fundamental. When money gets involved, things get complicated, reps get skewed, and there's different things that come into the whole political world that everyone talks about. I really just have to focus on controlling what I can control. My feelings don't matter. I'm not getting any grace. There's no sympathy. This is the big leagues. So I'm fine with JJ saying that. I think that's the right thing to say. I just have no idea why it's a story that he goes, all I want is a fair opportunity. I guess it's because there's nothing else going on right now.
Like, what do you want him to come out and say? Here, I want to be handed the job.
Yeah, like I just.
Or do you want him to come out and say, I don't care if they give me a chance?
Yeah, I don't think JJ saying this is a news story. I think the more newsworthy topics is him saying, I'm making great progress on my knee. It's in good shape here. Do you want to talk about that? That's fine. As we've continued to move through this cycle of whether it's going to be Sam Darnold or JJ McCarthy, I'm feeling very confident right now that JJ McCarthy is going to be the Vikings starting quarterback in 2025. I like that's where this seems to be trending right now. I think Darnold's going to get an offer that's going to be close to that $40 million, even if it's 35. I know a lot of people are saying that smart organizations don't let these kind of quarterbacks who have great years walk right out the building. You know what? I think the Vikings, they invested their future in they've said JJ McCarthy is the future, and part of building up this team is the appeal is building around a young quarterback, right? And not having that massive contract. You already have Justin Jefferson making $35 million. I feel good right now that tumultuous end for Darnold was enough for them to say, and whether or not this is fair, right? It might not be fair to judge Sam just on 2 games, but that sort of tumultuous end makes me think that the organization is going to try and continue to build this team up and that they believe in JJ McCarthy to take them to another level. And that's where I'm coming down right now. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I know it's not a perfect analogy because we haven't really seen a lot of situations like this, but the thing that comes to my mind, honestly, is the 49ers letting Jimmy G walk. Now, I know at that point you'd seen what Brock Purdy could do, but Jimmy G had been great for the 49ers. He'd put together some really good seasons for them. He'd done much more for them than Sam Darnold has done for us, frankly. Jimmy G took him to a Super Bowl. He put together multiple high-level seasons. Even like the 2022 year when they let him walk was tough. And people were wondering, like, yeah, you've got your young new quarterback. He looked good in a few games, but do you really want to let him leave? Boy, was that the right call, right? He fell apart on the Raiders. The Rams, he goes in as a backup and doesn't look particularly good there. I mean, he was fine against the Seahawks this year, I guess. But like, there were questions that people were asking, right? Is Jimmy Garoppolo? I went back and looked at it. Sports Illustrated, there were articles. Is Brock Purdy really better than Jimmy Garoppolo? And indeed, like people were saying, look, Jimmy Garoppolo knows the position. He's more experienced. I think you've got to give JJ McCarthy the chance to play. Sam Darnold, I just didn't see enough this season to think that he's really the guy for the future. And if you can keep him in the building, great. Let him play. But I think there's going to be some team that's willing to pay more than the Vikings do.
Well, wait. What do you mean if you can keep him in the building, let him play?
If Sam Darnold is willing to like take a bridge contract, let him play for half the year. Let JJ McCarthy recover from the knee injury, get back up to speed, and play him when he's ready. You don't need JJ McCarthy out there day one.
All right. Hold on a second. Just walk me through this quickly. When you're saying a bridge contract, does this mean like
you get Sam Darnold for like 1 year, $20 million?
Well, he's not signing that. Why would Sam ever do that?
I just said I don't think he's going to, because I think some other team's going to offer him more.
Okay. Well, what about the whole franchise tagging Darnold and then tag and trade, or keeping him for the $40 million and letting him go for 1 year against JJ and see if he can do it again? Are you on board with that at all?
I think the tag and trade is totally unrealistic. I don't think any teams are really all that excited to like add Sam Darnold at like 35 or 40 million for a year and then still have to deal with the issue of extending him.
Well, that's the tricky thing about this Darnold situation is that I can't see any team paying him $40 million. Like, I just can't. He had a great season. It was an amazing story. But given the situation he had in Minnesota and the ending, right? So the situation of having the weapons and O'Connell and then the ending that he had, I can't see anyone going, I'm comfortable giving him $120 million over 3 years.
Yeah, and if you let Darnold walk, you're going to. I don't know I don't think the Vikings are going to be huge free agency players. I think this is going to be much more of a year of re-signing our own guys. You probably get a third or fourth round compensatory pick back, depending on how the formula shapes out. So yeah, I think Darnold's going to leave. I think that's okay. I'd much rather bring in a guy like Jimmy G who can maybe start a few games or just be a helpful backup.
I think JJ is going to start week 1.
I don't think you want to be in a position like the Bears were of Caleb Williams this year, where you absolutely need JJ McCarthy to start week 1 because there's no other option.
Wouldn't it be Daniel Jones?
We don't know if the Vikings are going to keep Daniel Jones. If you think Daniel Jones is okay and you're fine starting him for half a season, sure.
So wait, would you tag Darnold and then just keep him for this season and let him battle out with JJ? And if JJ wins, he wins the job, and you let Darnold go after this year.
I don't think you should pay $40 million if you only want to keep Sam Darnold around for 1 year. I think, if anything, you could argue that transition tagging him makes a lot of sense. That would be, I think, a more likely situation than the franchise tag.
I thought I read somewhere that was the worst possible thing we could do.
I don't see why. The transition tag the payment would be substantially lower than the franchise tag. And if a team offers him a contract, we get a chance to match it.
Sure.
So you get a chance to see Darnold's market basically risk-free. And look, if there's a team willing to hand Darnold a big contract, you let him walk. The Vikings should not be matching a big contract for Sam Darnold, period.
Yeah, this is where it's going to come down to. It takes some guts to let someone walk out of the building who just had the year Sam Darnold had. But if you truly believe in JJ McCarthy, you're going to take that shot, right? You're going to give him that opportunity to live up to the expectations that you gave him.
I just don't want the quarterback coming off of knee surgery who's never started a game in the NFL to be told you have to start week 1 no matter what, whether you feel ready or not. Because look, Paul, you said it a few weeks ago. Everybody wants to be the Packers until they have a chance to be the Packers.
Yep.
You've got your quarterback coming off of knee surgery. Yeah, he's ahead of schedule. Yeah, he's practicing. But why you should force him to go out there and play? I think the Vikings should feel comfortable making that determination objectively. And the only way you can do that is to have an acceptable option that you can play without embarrassing your franchise.
I think it's going to be Daniel Jones then, because I don't think they're going to bring Sam back.
Look, if you can get Daniel Jones on a decent deal and they like him, I'm fine with that too.
Do you think that letting go of how much better do you think Darnold was than Kirk was when he got injured against the Packers last year? Now, I understand that he tore his Achilles and that you were taking in an older quarterback with a major injury, but how much better, if at all, do you think Sam was this season than Kirk was in the middle of the run we were having?
Kirk was better last season. I think it's marginal. I think Sam Darnold was very, very good, but Kirk was better. Kirk just didn't take those sacks that Darnold took.
Kirk had some major.
Kirk took a lot of sacks. Darnold led the NFL just about. If it weren't for Caleb Williams, just about setting a record.
Sam took a lot of sacks. I mean, Kirk had some disastrous strip sacks that were just, you could see it coming a mile away. It's like someone coming around the corner.
Look, I'm not saying Kirk was great. I'm saying Darnold was about the worst.
Well, they were both very good quarterbacks the last 2 years, but
yeah, I'm not saying Darnold was a bum.
No,
I think he was a good
I'm
play.
just
That's
saying
why there's this conversation at all.
Yeah, I'm saying you just made this decision with Kirk to go out into the unknown and hope it works out with McCarthy. I think it's the same thing with Darnold. You'll probably be decent if he comes back, but we're in this business to win Super Bowls, and I don't want to say Sam Darnold can't do it, but I think there's a better chance that JJ might work out, and that's probably what the Vikings are thinking. So we'll get into more things a little bit. Real quickly, very, very quickly here, before you guys give me this news story that I'm unaware of. Myles Garrett to Minnesota is not happening. That's not happening for any Vikings fans who are curious.
Thought it was?
I've just seen I saw people pondering us trading JJ McCarthy and some picks for Garrett, and I'm like, I'd love to have Myles Garrett on the team, but we're loaded at the edge, and it's not happening. The other one that I want to pay attention to, and I know that it's not happening, I would be all for Matthew Stafford joining the Vikings. I'll just say that. I know the Rams came out and said it's either with the Rams or no one, but if the situation worked out well, I would 100% be interested in 37-year-old Matthew Stafford joining up. Happy birthday, Matthew Stafford, by the way, from the Minnesota Vikings community. Happy birthday. He turns 37 tomorrow. He still got it. And I would love to see for 1 year, Stafford, Jefferson, Addison. I mean, I already have thoughts of the Super Bowl trophy being lifted.
He could beat up the Lions.
Beat up the Lions. Yeah, that would be great. A little revenge. Oh, I'd love for that to happen, but it doesn't seem likely. But someone make it happen.
It doesn't
Someone
seem
find
likely, but there are rumors about it. It is starting to move, and honestly, I think the Rams are not going to advertise it like they're advertising it for Cooper Kupp, but I believe Matthew Stafford is available. Now you're going to have to pay quite a bit to get him, but he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen. There's a price on him. And I think the Vikings could potentially justify paying it, except for the fact that we just don't have any picks.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh. It's brutal when you look at the Vikings draft situation. And that's something Kwesi, by the way, we got to nail some picks soon. If you look at the Vikings compared to look at what Detroit's doing, look at what Green Bay's doing, look at who's the other team? Philadelphia, right? In these drafts, how successful they've been outside of the first round. I just read off the Packers players the other day. It's you have Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Zach Tom, Rasheed Walker, Edrin Cooper, the Lions, Amon-Ra, and Kirby Joseph, and you just keep going down the list of great players these teams have been drafting. And the Vikings have I know that we trade a lot and we went and got Hawkinson with the second round pick, but I mean, these other teams are building up in the draft really nicely, and Kwesi's got to fix it.
It's hard when you make that giant trade up for Dallas Turner to do that.
Yeah, I know. Now,
I'm saying I was all over that.
Yeah, no, you were. And I'm still okay with it. Kwesi put his chips in the Dallas Turner and JJ McCarthy basket, or put his eggs in that basket, and that's fine. We'll see if it works out. I'm just saying, we need to start hitting on some picks.